Hi Gemini, I hope you guys are doing great today. Let me put on my candle here. Okay, so I did a separate reading that covers a lot of the astrology surrounding this new moon on October 6th in Libra, because there's just so much to talk about this month. But so I recommend that you check that out if you want to get more, much deeper astrological messages going on. But it's not going to be hitting us as hard, Gem, thank goodness. Me, you. Thank you. Well, anyway, it's not that it's all going to be easy, because I feel like there are other things at play, and obviously this depends on what else you have in your chart. This is just for your Gemini placement. You just want to check your rising sun, moon sign, and your Venus sign in addition. But we have all of this energy, the sun, the Mars, the moon, Mercury retrograde, all happening in your 5th house. So the moon's going to be conjunct Mars in that 5th house, but the moon is going to be quincunxing Uranus in your 12th house. Mars is going to be quincunxing Uranus in your 12th house. So a lot of what you're going to be dealing with, like the tensions, are going to be very, very internal for you during this particular time. So we're going to work it in as we go along. Also, by the end of the week, Venus is going to be moving from Scorpio into Sag in your 7th house of marriage, of partnerships, of contractual relationships as well. How you do interpersonal relationships. We like Venus in Sagittarius. It's kind of leaving from this very intense, very hyper-focused space to a more macro space in the 7th. It's sitting back and looking at how you feel overall in your relationships, and how well can you see yourself moving forward into your future, in this energy as well. So let's throw some cards down and see what comes up for just the general messages, and then I'll pull a couple cards for relationship at the end, the way I do. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Gemini, I just feel like a lot of you just want to break free of something, right? I'm just getting that very strongly here. This Hangman, this King of Pentacles as these two last cards. But let's see what we have. So coming into this energy, Nine of Swords. So it was something in your life, whether it had to do with work, a family situation, something to do with your kids, something where there was anxiety, almost a feeling of overwhelm and worry. You might have even been having trouble sleeping. And I even mentioned in the astrology reading, Uranus in the 12th house in Taurus at 13 degrees. Yes, that is otherwise known as trouble sleeping energy, for sure. Not such a hard time falling asleep, a hard time staying asleep, because it's almost like this kinetic kind of energy. Waking up almost feeling this almost palatable kind of nervous tension and not being able to identify where it's coming from. Well, it's coming from Uranus. Uranus rules electricity, rules technology, rules, where are you going? What are you doing in the future, right? So there could be a lot of that. And even if you feel like you're in a pretty good space where you're kind of plugging along and you're making some good choices and you feel good things happening for you, it's still this very nervous energy about how is it gonna roll out? When is the next leg of this journey gonna show itself? Where because so many energies are retrograde, that while we feel ourselves moving forward, and we've been discussing that, a lot of things aren't actually manifesting just yet. Now, it doesn't mean that job offers aren't coming in and life's not happening and things are moving forward, but we're now feeling kind of caught up to our own energy right now. It's a very interesting sort of vibe. So right now, Gemini, you are the Queen of Pentacles. So you're in this space very much where you want to take care of your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, your finances. You want to get it all going on. Right? North node of the moon is in your sign until the end of the year, well, until the second week of January to be more specific. So you're very in this space of focusing on, how's the quality of my marriage? How's the money looking that's coming in? How am I feeling about, intimacy, right? And your sex life and all of that. How about fertility? And I mean that even in a very broad sense. How are you feeling about your ability to grow in your life, to grow in your job, grow in your career, maybe get pregnant, have a family, grow a family, just grow maybe your bank account, whatever it is, this idea of growth. You're looking at this. And what I like about this, though, as coming up as you, Gemini, is that you're very supportive of yourself right now, and you're exercising self-care, or you're at least trying your best to do that, where you're not allowing yourself to step into situations where you know you're going to be dealing with messy energies. You're trying your very hardest to take care of yourself. You're trying to get the rest. You're trying to do the right thing, and that I really like for you right now, for sure. Well, what is your challenge in doing all this? It's like you're showing up and you're trying to do all the right things, but the challenge here is the Three of Cups. So you may be feeling just unsupported in your life right now. You may be feeling like there needs to be some part of your life healed. There's something that's not healed that's poking at you. Some of you, if you're single and you're looking to get into a new relationship, you might be meeting somebody, but it's like you for some reason the circumstances don't show up where you're in this space where you can actually cultivate the relationship. Some of you maybe are waiting to meet somebody, right? Because there's the number of creation of creating a new relationship. So it depends on, you know, what else is going on in your chart, but these are the things that are getting in the way of you being able to embrace that Queen of Pentacles energy. Not that you're not already, but it's like, all right, so Gemini, you might even be feeling like, I don't know if this is going to make sense to you, but some of you may even be feeling like an island where it's like, well, if I'm, you know, this job's going to get done, I have to do it. I can't count on anybody. I can't really rely on anybody. And it's not that you're being negative. It's just that you're taking accountability and you're embracing this Mars energy, because this energy is all about an I am kind of energy, right? And having this Mars is actually going to be Cazimi this week, which means it's going to be sitting in the pocket of the sun, and this is so beneficial, and to have this in the 5th house of creativity, of falling in love, of love affairs, of romance, of children, of doing what you want to do because you want to do it. You're going to be very aware of where it is that you want your life to go, even if you might not really understand the exact steps to get there. You're definitely crystallizing the vision of where it is that you would like to see yourself go. Now, at the same time though, because the moon is combust with the sun, because of where it's placed, it's only within like 4 degrees, so it is considered combust. And all that means, guys, is like the energy of the moon is just going to be a little weakened. So you know, in the moon energy, we can be very heightened in where we feel vulnerable, very focused on feeling secure in a situation. We can even be very connected on achieving our goals, or even identifying confusion and disappointment in relationships, right? But these things, even though it kind of sounds negative, these things are very helpful for us to understand, so that we can make changes, so we can understand what are we doing that is not really ultimately serving us. But with its position to the sun within that 4-degree orb, you know, I am sensing a combust though, but with the simultaneous Cazimi. So it's very interesting, because your emotional memory on what hasn't worked in the past, not that you're not remembering everything, but it's not going to be impacting you in that same visceral emotional level that it typically would. And you're going to be very focused on bringing good stuff to yourself. So it's almost like what would have bothered you maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago, maybe even 3 months ago. It's just not going to be mattering on that level, to that magnitude to you anymore. And so there's a lot of beautiful healing, and it's no mistake that it's sitting opposite Chiron retrograde in Aries at 10 degrees. So I mean, this is absolutely beautiful, because it's sitting in an exact conjunction to all of this. So everything that's going on in this new moon is so healing. And I know everyone is saying that, and everyone's like, you know, bullshit, you know, like this really is, I feel stuck, I feel the weirdness, I feel the weird energy, all of this. Trust me when I tell you, whatever's happening now, as it rolls out, as Chiron comes out of retrograde in the end of December, whatever you're setting up now, this is going to impact your 2022. Whatever's being set up now. So just be really, really careful, Gemini. Be really careful, because you are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde right now in one of the by the way, the weirdest Mercury retrograde I've seen in a hot minute as well, besides this new moon. It's just everything is very different, right? Right now. So you want to make sure that you don't burn any bridges. You don't go, that's it, I'm done with you. You know, be gone. Marriage, job, career, family person, whatever. Be super careful of doing that, because what you end in this energy is going to be so hard to get back and so hard to fix. This is like burning bridges permanently kind of energy. But you're going to feel a lot more agreeable. But the thing is, you can't control how somebody else might push a button. So if somebody does, really sit back and respond, don't react, right? That's just like, everybody needs to be wearing that t-shirt right now for the next 4 or 6 weeks, I kind of think. All right. So 6 of Swords, basis of the situation, working with the Knight of Pentacles here. Yeah, okay. Listen, Gem, something's not sitting right with you. Something. And it's going to be something different for each of you. Maybe it's that job, it's that relationship, it's that family, it's that friendship connection, whatever it is. But this is you moving on mentally, maybe before physically right now. But it's about detachment and taking a little breather away from a situation, allowing yourself some space to do some solid internal work. Some of you might be taking a little break from work. Some of you might be taking a break from that relationship. Or you're not actually taking a break from anything, but whenever possible, you're doing a lot of mental work, so much mental work with that Uranus in the 12th house. I mean, your under the hood is changing. You're changing in where you keep yourself small. You're changing in that area. It's becoming very clear to you. Where do you keep yourself small? Where do you sacrifice yourself in situations? Where are you not being appreciated? Where are you letting too many of the wrong things bother you or get in the way of you maybe taking that next step in something, right? And Uranus in there is absolutely shaking you up to make you look at these things until the middle of January. So this 6 of Swords can certainly just be more mental. As you're still sleeping next to your spouse, or going into that job every day, or hanging out with that friendship, or having dinner with those family members, you're changing internally. There's no question. And you're detaching and being able to identify the toxicity. But it's funny, because what I'm feeling here is that you're not going to be as inclined as you normally would. Keep in mind, I'm a Gemini sister here, but to mouth off, to defend yourself in a situation, but the unfairness of a situation is going to be very obvious, but the way you handle it is going to be a lot more subtle. I did speak about that a lot more in the astrology video, so let's just move on from here. So we have this pulling away from anything that's toxic, mentally maybe before physically. Some of you maybe physically, maybe both. It's working with the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, for a lot of you, this is you being very focused on increasing your prosperity and your financial growth, and you just wanting to be smart with your time, and you want to be consistent in your efforts. You have no problem doing that as long as it's going to bring you to a better place. So any sort of business venture, dealing with a business partner, whatever it is, this does indicate an increase in money or connection coming into you. So you might be making a lot of really good connections that can advance you in your career. This could be connections as far as friendships, as far as maybe meeting somebody new for a relationship. But the thing is, in this energy, you're going to work probably harder than you are right now in order for something to end up being very stable and secure for yourself, right? No problem there. I feel like you guys are very, very ready for that. Not to say that you guys don't work hard already, but it's going to be different. It's going to be different. Now, for some of you, if you're dealing with this person, you may be dealing with this person where you're dealing with somebody who's very loyal, very dependable, and they have a lot to offer. They have a lot to offer, but something's missing, and you can't not stop looking at it. You can't stop looking at it. Whether it's that they're not exciting enough or interesting enough, or they're a bit boring, or you don't have enough in common, or there's just something where it's just like, really, is this it? Kind of thing, right? And they might lack the excitement or to capture your heart over the long term in a really satisfying way. But now it depends on where you're at, because I do know a lot of Geminis where they're like, you know what, after what I've been through, I will take boring any day of the week, as long as they're faithful, as long as they're not you know, a liar, as long as they're, you know what I mean, like all of those. So it definitely depends on where you're at. But there is something I do feel like you're acknowledging where you feel like something's missing. Some of you may not be feeling that in your relationship. You may be feeling that in your life in general, where you may, depending on the age and stage that you're at, you know, if you're in your 50s, you might be experiencing your Uranus return. You might be experiencing, you know, if you're in your early 40s, some Uranus opposition. So there could be that could also almost bring this sort of like feeling of, now what? You know, kind of thing, and where everything could be pretty good, and you actually kind of like where everything is going, but where you feel this undeniable sense of lack. You feel like something's missing, and a lot of it can be entrenched in fear, being very aware of the clock, and feeling like you want to bring something to yourself, but there's a lack of clarity in that particular area. So I'm getting a lot of you maybe feeling that way. So we have the Queen of Cups as far as the recommended approach that Spirit is suggesting here, and the Queen of Cups is a Gemini and Cancer energy. So it's having this very healthy conversation about what you need to feel grounded, rooted, and safe and secure. There's a very emotional, intelligent energy. Not afraid of intimacy, not afraid of whatever is necessary to make something work. Not afraid of being a good parent, not afraid of being a good worker, not afraid of being a good partner. You're not afraid of all of that as long as you're being understood. It's very important for you to feel heard right now, especially where Mars is. Mars is a very I am energy. It rules Aries. Aries is that first house of I am. And we're not going to be able to not look at that. There's going to be this very strong push to feel validated, to feel heard, at least heard and validated. Now, the energy that's external to you that you're dealing with, again, this could have to do with a family member, an intimate partner, friendship, whatever it is, Nine of Wands. So you're dealing with somebody who is really tired, right? They feel like they've been fighting in something very long, very, very hard situation with you, and they feel tired. They still want to be in it with you. It's not that. This is temporary, what they're going through. They might be feeling temporarily very defensive right now about something, about how they're showing up, about the money that they're putting into a situation, about their willingness to move forward in something. But they need to be careful that they don't stay in a negative mindset. And you might be sitting back saying, wow, why are they so negative right now? Right? It's like, that's not going to be productive. Staying in a negative mindset is not going to produce anything beneficial. It's probably only going to push them into the 10 of Wands mindset. And we don't want that, because that means that they're not able to maintain balance, right? Where they feel like they're not going to be able to get to where it is that they want to go with you as part of their life. So they still have a lot of fire in their belly for you, but they're at this point. But a lot of people are, because we're in this crossroads energy at the beginning of October. We just are, guys. Now, what is your challenge? Your psychological challenge right now is the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is very key emotional events. So for some of you, challenge could be you're having a hard time getting pregnant. You're having a hard time with your children. You're having a hard time meeting somebody in a new relationship. You're having a hard time starting a new cycle in a relationship where you're feeling a lot of strong love and support. This is your psychological challenge right now. Those of you who are single, you might be having a hard time bringing something that matters a lot to you to fruition right now. And this is, again, this is very much deep in your psychological space. And it might be, though, because you're not clear right now, because Uranus is in the house of Neptune. So Neptune's a very smoke and mirror energy. It's very sacrificial, that 12th house. And with Uranus in there, Uranus doesn't want to hear about that. Uranus wants to just say, no, I want to focus on the future. I want to focus on the grand, on the big picture, on other people, on where are we going? What are we, these big existential questions Uranus is all about, right? But in that energy of Neptune, Neptune's very smoke and mirror. You think you know what you want, but then you don't know what you want. You think it's going to go in this direction, but then it's not going in that direction. It's almost, you could feel, Jem, like you're almost in a fun house right now in your life, where it's like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought this was going to go this way, and now suddenly I'm feeling this way. And it could literally happen really quickly. And before you say, oh, this Gemini energy of mine, how I flip like that. No, this has to do with Uranus being in your 12th. It's been there for a bit. You know, it's been like since 2019. So we have that's, and it's going to come out of retrograde in January. All right, so then we have the Hangman energy. So the Hangman in the near future energy, here we go, Neptune. Everything I was just talking about, right? Again, very sacrificial energy, pressing the pause button on something to think about if you stay in a situation, if you stay in that job, that family situation, that relationship, are you going to end up sacrificing what it is that you really, really want? Are you keeping yourself too small? Are you trying to convince yourself of something that you know at the end of the day, you're going to have some sense of regret? You know, if you want to travel the world, are you with, and I know that sounds very sort of hokey pokey, but let's say just, you know, keep it real. Maybe you want to go on like, you know, 1 or 2 really good trips a year. Do you and your partner want to actually go to the same places? Are you guys into the same things? Do you share the same interests? These are big questions that are going to become really pressing for you in this energy. You know, and the advice though that I want to just kind of offer here with that is you want to make sure that you're not focusing on the negative or the lack rather than the positive and the supportive elements too. Because there can be, like this may be where this energy of cooperation and moderation, this temperance energy, where this needs to play, you know, come into play. Where you're like, look, you know, I really want to go to Italy, and you really just want to go to Mexico. And, you know, I'm just using that as an example. Or I really want to live in this neighborhood and you want to live here. Or I really want to get married and you just want to live together. And A, B, and C is why this matters to me. And then C, you know, wherever that lack of alignment is with how you guys are living your life, how you guys deal with the children, how you guys deal with work, with money, all of that, this is an energy where you're going to be looking at everything. With the Uranus in the 12th, you are going to be looking at everything. It's sitting opposite the 6th house. So the 6th house is not only your work environment, it's how you're feeling about being in your life. It's your day-to-day work, your day-to-day experience in life, right? So you're going to be asking these big questions. Now, final outcome energy happens to be the King of Pentacles, which is an energy of greed. So you have to be a little careful here. Because with the it's a nice energy. Again, generous, hardworking. This person likes to be in a settled situation, right? So this could be certainly like that reliable coworker, that reliable boss, that reliable job. It could be that reliable partner, friend, family member, whatever it is. But there's something going on in the situation where that person or that situation has no patience, tolerance, or allowance for anyone to take what they believe is rightfully theirs. Okay, so this could have to do with, Gem, let's say you have a partner and maybe they either come into money or they're working really hard or something like that, and they don't want to share the money. They're like, no, well, I'm putting in this and you're putting in that, and I'm not going $1 above that. I'm just giving that as an example. Or money's not a thing at all, but you're talking about connection, or maybe you're talking about being more present in the relationship regarding communication, or maybe helping out around the house or whatever it is. And it's like, well, they might give you some lip service in this energy, and that could be super frustrating, but you could be in this space where it's like seriously, I can't deal with that anymore. Like, I don't want to have to do everything. Why are you being greedy with what you're willing to give and not give in whatever area it is? And I just feel like it's giving you pause before moving forward in the relationship. Even if you're keeping it all to yourself right now. Even if you're keeping it all to yourself, trying to figure out how you're going to be moving forward. Because a lot of you who are very... you follow tarot, you follow astrology, you know your energy, you know Mercury retrograde, you know how profound this particular Mercury retrograde is because of everything that we've been talking about. A lot of you are making the choice to kind of sit back and say, let me handle it differently, let me see how things roll out. But again, you're not seeing these things that are troubling you. It's only a matter of time before there has to be a conversation about whatever this is, with whoever this person is. So we have the Ten of Cups, the Emperor, the Knight of Pentacles. Wow. Yep. Oh my gosh, so much empowerment here. My goodness, my goodness. Clarifying this King of Pentacles energy, we have the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is about family. right? So I feel like, where is there a little bit of holding back, this holding back energy in the King of Pentacles, where somebody being a little greedy is having something to do with family, or it could be that would feed into the benefits of security. So in that way, it could definitely be a business partner, or it could definitely be maybe you're dealing with a group of people who are talking about maybe investing in a project that you're a part of, and it's just this element of waiting, right? But whatever it is, it's impacting your ability to feel very secure. But this is a very positive energy, because I feel like it's going to be manifesting. You're just going to have to be very patient while this works out, and focus on where you can take control of the situation and recognize where you can't. As the Emperor is Aries, ruled by Mars, fresh path, new perspective, taking the bull by the horns, taking the leadership role in something. So just understand that when it comes to your Ten of Cups energy, this contentment, this deepening of romance, deepening of family connection, communication, improving business, you have to be in charge. You're the one who has to make things happen. So definitely don't wait for anything so much to happen, but be very proactive in this energy. Yeah, absolutely. Knight of Pentacles has to do with independent endeavors, accomplishment and success, and financial rewards for your efforts, whatever you're putting in, right? For a lot of you, this could also indicate you finally meeting a very healthy connection after doing a lot of solid work on yourself, because 9 is the number of productivity. So a lot of you are continuing to be in the space of integrating your body, your mind, your spirit, just really trying to round out your life in a very beautiful way. And you're looking at how well your emotional needs are being met, and how fair and equitable the situations are that are coming up. If this has to do with career or money, you might feel or experience a challenging situation that feels like you're being tested. And this energy means that things are going to go well and in your favor. Any kind of negotiation, any kind of interview, any situation where there's like a meeting of the minds needed, everything's going to end up going in your favor. Things are set to improve, even if it has to do with a legal issue, a property situation, anything like that. In this energy, it can definitely be resolved. But this is also connected in numerology to the High Priestess. So the key here is, don't be very reactive. Let things roll out a little bit and watch. Be the wise owl right now, right? And just sort of watch how things are going, and don't be reactive. Clarifying the Justice energy is a beautiful Ace of Swords, getting over past obstacles, getting what you want. Thoughts becoming things. This is such an auspicious energy for any area in your life, Gem. Honestly, because this is all about new beginnings, decisions, clear thinking. I don't care that Mercury is retrograde. It doesn't mean we can't see clearly. Even though we have that Neptune energy in the 10th house, it's almost like that doesn't matter. It's kind of like it doesn't matter, because you're focused a lot more on what feels right to you moving forward, and trusting in the fact that things are going to be rolling out exactly as they should be. Now, I love that that's being clarified by the Four of Wands. This is a Venus and Aries energy. So for a lot of you, this is an energy of creativity, and with all that heavy energy in your 5th house that I was talking about, with the Mars is going to be Kazemi in the 5th house. So great. The moon's going to be conjunct the sun. We have Mercury is going to be retrograde, but I like it here retrograde, because I feel like you're going to be just really rethinking, reviewing, reassessing, reevaluating everything having to do with relationships, creativity, all of that. And with the Four of Wands, anything that you bring forward having to do with either your creativity, having to do with this desire for a strong foundation in a situation, is going to be well received, and it's going to be appreciated, as a matter of fact. Some of you might even be meeting somebody new. If you're totally single, this can indicate a new partner opening up their heart and expressing their love and their affection, or at least their feelings of affection for you. For those of you in relationship, very positive sort of honeymoon vibe, where you're leveling up your relationship, having to do with work or career, very auspicious for creative projects. They flourish. Very nice energy. And now, finally, the last 2 cards we have here, we have the Queen of Wands. Beautiful. Stepping into your power, Pisces and Aries. Ideas are going to be popping. You're going to have the strength that you need to make things happen, not only in your relationships, all of your relationships. So you are going to have this clarity when it comes to interpersonal connections. You just are. Even if you're not sure what the end point is going to be, there's going to be clarity in the today and in the right now. But I really don't feel like you're going to be completely acting on it. I just feel like you can be talking about it. You can have a conversation. Two of Cups is a good conversation. Very mutually supportive conversation, right? Now, this could even have to do with work. So this could have to do with sitting down and negotiating once and for all that contract, that offer of money, that offer on the house, whatever it is moving forward. Sitting down once and for all and having that conversation with that family member. All this energy in your 5th house, maybe with your child. Doesn't matter how old they are. Sitting down and having the conversation, maybe things you've been at odds with a friend, right? As well, right? Because all of this Sun, Mars, Moon, Mercury, retrograde, everything's opposite the 11th house. And there might have been some tension in relationship, tension having to do with your salary, tension having to do with, your goals and gains, where you're going over the next 5 years or so. Really nice conversation about that. And you feeling like you're at least going in the right direction. Doesn't mean everything's going to roll out like in a minute, but it does mean that you're going to be a lot more clear in this time of where there's not going to be a lot of clarity. You're going to be able to effectively see where it is that you're going. So let's pull some cards on those of you in relationship. Past, present, future, final outcome, clarifiers. Okay, so in the recent past we have the 6 of Wands in the reverse. So this is like retreating. It's like giving up, not feeling very confident about something that's going on in the relationship, but then tempering that, right? Getting into a space where there's some sort of reconciling with the situation. Even if you're not with the person, it's just reconciling the fact that something is simply the way it is, right? Particularly with this Mercury retrograde, you're able to do that, right? And a lot of you are releasing something. The South Node is in your 7th house. So it is kicking up this energy of release, at least like maybe releasing toxicity, releasing the way something was, right? Up to this point. So the Temperance is a nice energy though, because it does indicate like the end of a really difficult time period being over, because there was this new level of trust and patient cooperation had, even though things were a little trippy initially. So where are we right now? We have the Devil energy in reverse and the Queen of Wands in the reverse as well. So we have the Devil reverse is better than in the upright. It just is. It's more positive. The restrictions are dealt with more easily. The Devil energy is about restriction. It could have to do with addiction, but a lot of times it just has to do with the imbalance in a relationship. And right now it does seem like that imbalance is being addressed more easily, right? Things become more clear in the situation, and you realize that things maybe, just maybe, are not as bad as you initially thought. Clarifying that energy, though, we do have the Queen of Wands in the reverse, and this can indicate how do I say this without sounding mean? But the Queen of Wands could be somebody who's kind of like dull. Gem. So you might be like, oh, it's like I just wish my partner had a little bit more or a little bit of that. Some of you can resonate with it like that. Others of you may be in this space where you're feeling almost apathetic and cold, or you're dealing with this from your partner, where you're dealing with somebody who's rather aggressive, or there's some sort of coldness at play here. You know what's interesting though is I'm feeling, even though you're going to be looking at the situation saying it's not as bad as I thought, it's not as shackled as I thought, but I'm wondering if for a lot of you, you're just like, I just don't care the way I did anymore. I feel like some of you may be in that space where it's like the shackles really don't bother me anymore. They're not as tight. They're falling off because guess what? I'm feeling a little apathetic. I'm feeling like tired. Some of you may be in that space. Remember, the energies could always be vice versa. They could always be flip-flop. So in the near future, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and it's being clarified by the Page of Wands in the reverse. So Knight of Pentacles, this is interesting because this is either you or an energy that you're dealing with. Somebody's just wanting to focus on themselves, and they might be a little immature right now. The Page of Wands, it can be a player energy, right, for some people. This could just be an element of immaturity, but you might also be dealing with, some of you may be in a situation where you're needing to very much focus your energies on something going on with one of your kids. Something going on with your kids, because the Page of Wands in reverse can indicate that. So you might be dealing with a situation where one of your kids is struggling at school or struggling in their life, maybe with friends, something like that. And this Nine of Pentacles is very sort of independent endeavor, trying to be productive, trying to fix something, For a lot of you, that could certainly be it, where a lot of your energy is focused on a child or children. For others of you, there's a lot of focus though on wanting to bring yourself what it is that you want, and you really don't even, and I'm not saying that you don't care, Gemini, it just seems like you've been through a lot in some sort of situation, and you're just like, look, I just want to do me and be me. Or you're dealing with an energy that's like that, where they're just very focused on bringing themselves to a space where they feel comfortable within themselves, because this really is about working on self. But it's being clarified by the Page of Wands, which does indicate like a level of immaturity as well. So there might be this belief that somebody can't work on themselves if they're within the relationship, where they have to end it. But then that's always suspect, right? All right, so the final outcome energy we have is the King of Swords, and that's being clarified by the Seven of Swords. Okay, here we go. Because the King of Swords, this is an energy where it's like very focused on the mind instead of the heart, right? In order to take charge of the circumstances that are going on in the relationship. Very like relying on logic, staying outwardly chill, using, no emotions. But that's being clarified by the Seven of Swords. So, Gem, I don't know if this is you, an energy that you're dealing with, but the Seven of Swords is dishonest. And it's like, it's a moon in Aquarius. So moon rules emotions, and Aquarius is different than what I'm showing you. So there could be some mask-wearing energy here, some lip service, some promises that where there's no intention for full follow-through. You may be in this space where you're doing that. You may be dealing with an energy who's doing that. But it's like, there's some sort of element of dishonesty. Now, it could be because either you or this person that you're dealing with truly do not know how they feel. 100% going the long term, truly, right? That could be it, but it could also be where somebody is running away from the responsibility of the relationship, and they're selfish and they overstep boundaries. So you may be in this space, right? You guys may be doing this little dance together where, you're staying very in the facts and they're giving you a lot of lip service, and that can certainly create a lot of tension. Oh my gosh, and then we have the Tower. Necessary surrender. Necessary surrender. A secret comes to light. Realizations are going to be popping. And man, if this isn't the season for that, I don't know what is. And it's time to let go of these past patterns of relating, guys. This is tarot. This is not, you can control this energy. You can. But something's got to end the way it was. So if you still want to be in the relationship, everybody's got to change the way they're handling it. Absolutely. And this could be really sort of like, feel like, boom, it comes out of nowhere. And as I've been saying, and I said in the energy with the astrology, is what is ended in this energy is going to be really, really hard to rectify moving forward. So we want to be very, very, very careful. Now, that being said, the Tower could be an internal moment where you're realizing, because you have that Uranus in the 12th, where you're realizing, I am like a different person than I was last year, and that's it. And I need to change, and I want to change, and my relationship needs to change with me in order for me to stay in this situation. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm pulling from the wrong energy here. Hello, the wrong deck. Okay, nice. So we have the Ten of Cups. I mean, the Ten of Cups is clarifying the Tower. So it does seem like somebody is going to be going through some sort of Tower moment where, okay, we can't keep doing this anymore. It's make a break. What are we doing? Ten of Cups, I mean, this is a drastic change. You can't get from the Tower to the Ten of Cups without utilizing Mars in a way where it's like, no, this is what we have to do. We have to be very proactive in trying to fix this if we want this to work. Nine of Wands in reverse. The Nine of Wands in reverse is having faith. It's isolation ending, but you're still feeling very defensive about something. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is somebody not putting, you feeling somebody is not putting the work into the relationship in the way that they need to put the work in, right? This is a stubborn energy. It's like lazy, almost, like relationship lazy. Not lazy in life, but we're lazy in the relationship. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. This has to do with property, family, again, inheritance, generosity, support, all of that. May be a narrative that's running in your life right now with this person within this relationship. But this is very much, you know, I have your back, you have mine, offering each other support. We have the Queen of Cups in the reverse, which is an insecure energy. This can have to do with addiction, imbalance, a very smothering energy, is clarifying the Six of Pentacles. So you might be in a situation where you're very worried about having enough money, having a strong foundation. You may be very worried about that. We have the Nine of Swords in the reverse. I like this better in the reverse, because this is about rest, recovery, healing, relief from something that's just been deeply, deeply troubling you. And then we have the King of Wands, you being very much a free spirit. Some of you are just going to be saying goodbye to a relationship that is not working for you. Others of you are going to be doing complete changes where the energy is just going to be lightening up. But Gem, I got to tell you, I don't see the in-between. I don't see that riding the in-between without a lot of bumps and bruises on the way. I don't see it happening. I don't. And what I do like, though, you know, going back to the new moon energy, is that you have so much positive energy running through you right now, that what's not working is because it's you feel like this isn't working. I'm not feeling good in this anymore. Do you understand the difference? It's more like you're going to be going in and making these changes, or allowing the energy to make the changes for you, because you're recognizing what's not working. I hope that's not too confusing. It's a very clear message. It does seem. But anyway, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you next week. Have a blessed week. Bye-bye.